This is the 2.4 Ready, Set, Go, and I really want to spend quite a bit of my time today talking about problems 1 and 2, and I'm going to use the example that's in the module to show you how to find that. So basically what it's looking for, it's saying the top row is arithmetic, so we're looking for the common difference, and the bottom row is geometric, and we're looking for the common ratio. How do you find that if you only have the first term and the last term in a table? So I've gone ahead and written that blank table up here on a different page. So hopefully it will help you follow along. And here is a formula that you can use that'll make sense after I go through this example. So if we know this is arithmetic, we know that I start at 4, and then I'm going to add the same number over and over and over again until I land at 324. So to write that into an equation, I would say, well, 4 plus, and then I have to figure out how many common differences we have. So we've got a common difference here, a common difference here, a common difference here, and a common difference here. So I need to add 4 plus whatever the number is, 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 and that will land me, that will equal 324. So I can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 common differences, and so I can shorten my equation and say 4 plus 4 common differences equals 324. So repeated addition equals multiplication. So I've got that a little bit more simplified. And then to solve this equation, to find D, to find the common difference, I'm going to set up an equation, and I'm going to do the opposite so I can get D by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and that's going to leave me with 4D equals 320. And then right now what I have left is 4 times D, and I know the opposite of multiplication is division, so I need to divide both sides by 4. And that gives me, 4 divided by 4 gives me 1D, and 320 divided by 4 gives me 80. So that tells me that 80 is my common difference. And then I can go ahead and use it to fill. 4 plus 80 is 84, 164, 244. So what I've done up here at the top is I've given you like a shorter version. If you take the last output, which we had was 324, and you subtract the first output, which was 4, that gives you 320. That's what we have down here. And we took the first last minus the first, gave me 320. And then you're going to divide that number by the number of common differences, which we did here. We divided both sides by 4. So hopefully this example will, hopefully you just rewrite the table and use these same steps to answer the rest of the questions in the Ready for the arithmetic ones. The bottom part of all those tables are geometric. So geometric, we know we start at 4, and instead of adding in a geometric, we know we're actually multiplying. And in this case, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 common ratios. So I know that if I start with 4 and I multiply 4 times whatever the ratio is, again, times the ratio, times the ratio. If I do that 4 times, that's going to land me at 324, right? That's how our geometric tables. 4 times something will give me this, times something will give me this, times the same thing again, and then I'll land at 324. So this is an equation that helps me see how to jump from 4 to the next numbers in my table. And now I'm just going to simplify that. So I know that repeated multiplication is actually exponents. So this is really 4 times r to the 4th power, because there's 4 r's. And if I do that, that's going to land me at 324. So to find my common ratio, I'm going to solve this equation. And I'm going to do that by undoing the math that's being done. So first I want to get r by itself, and to do that I have to get rid of that 4. But 4 is being multiplied by r, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So I need to divide this entire side by 4, and whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. And so that leaves me, 4 divided by 4 gives me 1, and 1 times r to the 4th power is just r to the 4th power. And 324 divided by 4 gives me 81. So this says, hey, r times r times r times r equals 81. So I could work backwards and I could guess and check and kind of figure out numbers, or I could learn from my teacher that the opposite of exponents isn't really division. A lot of kids want to keep dividing. It's actually square roots. So the square root is the opposite of r to the second power. The fourth root is the opposite of r to the fourth power. So if I want to get this r by itself, I need to take the fourth root of both sides. So when I do that in my calculator, I'm going to get r equals, and then what you plug in your calculator is the fourth root of 81, and that's going to tell you that r equals 3. Basically, it's saying 81, and you need to find what number times itself 4 times equals 81. So I know 9 times 9 is the square root of 81. That's two numbers that are the same. But I can also break that down and say, hey, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81 also, and that's 4 of the same number. So that's the fourth root. So r to the third, or the common ratio in this problem is 3.